What if I told you that some of the most shocking experiments in history were hidden from the public, sometimes for decades? Governments, scientists, and institutions conducted studies that pushed the limits of ethics, morality, and human endurance. In today's video, we're uncovering 5 terrifying experiments they tried to hide from the world. From secret psychological trials to inhumane exhibitions, these stories reveal a dark side of history that few people know. Prepare yourself for a journey into experiments that challenge everything we thought we knew about human behavior and morality. The human zoos. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, so-called human zoos became a horrifying spectacle across Europe and America. People from Africa, Asia, and indigenous communities were forcibly brought to cities, exhibited behind bars, and treated as curiosities for wealthy audiences. Visitors would pay to watch them perform daily routines, dances, or rituals, labeled as primitive or savage. Many of the subjects suffered illness, humiliation, and even death. Families were separated, and the world treated these humans as objects rather than people. This dark chapter is often forgotten, but it reveals how far scientific curiosity and social experimentation can cross ethical boundaries. It's hard to imagine now, but for decades, this was considered entertainment, education, and science. Stanford Prison Experiment. In 1971, psychologists at Stanford University set out to study the effects of perceived power. 24 male students were randomly assigned roles, guards or prisoners. The experiment was supposed to last 2 weeks, but within days, the situation escalated out of control. Guards became abusive, and prisoners showed extreme stress and emotional breakdowns. Some students begged to leave, yet the experiment continued until the 6th day when it was finally terminated. The study raised serious ethical questions about human behavior and the limits of psychological research. It revealed how quickly ordinary people can adopt cruel roles when placed in structured systems of authority. The Stanford Prison Experiment remains a stark reminder of the power dynamics that shape human actions. Tuskegee Syphilis Study. From 1932 to 1972, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study in Alabama exposed hundreds of African American men to a brutal medical experiment. The men were told they were receiving treatment for bad blood, but in reality, they were denied proper care for syphilis. Researchers wanted to observe the natural progression of the disease without consent, without ethics, without mercy. Even after penicillin became the standard cure in the 1940s, participants were left untreated. Families were affected, and generations suffered. The study continued for 40 years before public outrage finally ended it. Tuskegee left a permanent scar on medical ethics, public trust, and the lives of its victims. It stands as a chilling reminder of what happens when science abandons morality. Human radiation experiments. During the Cold War, governments conducted secret radiation experiments on unsuspecting civilians and military personnel. People were injected with radioactive materials, placed near nuclear tests, or fed contaminated food, all without informed consent. Some were patients in hospitals, others were soldiers participating in so-called research studies. Many suffered long-term health consequences, including cancer, radiation sickness, and premature death. Documents were classified, and the experiments remained hidden for decades. When they were finally exposed in the 1990s, public outrage was immense. These experiments reveal how far science and government programs can go when ethics are ignored. They also remind us that history often hides its darkest chapters until we uncover them. Project ARTICHOKE. Before MKUltra, the CIA ran Project ARTICHOKE in the early 1950s an even more secretive program exploring mind control. Researchers experimented with hypnosis, drugs, and psychological manipulation to see if they could force subjects to act against their will. Subjects were unaware they were part of an experiment, and many suffered long-lasting mental effects. ARTICHOKE was designed to create obedience, erase memories, and test the limits of human control. Though the project ended quietly, it laid the groundwork for MKUltra and revealed the chilling potential of psychological experimentation. These programs remind us that curiosity without ethics can cross terrifying boundaries. These experiments may seem like stories from another world, but they are real, and they remind us how fragile ethics can be when curiosity goes too far. History has hidden these dark chapters for decades, yet now we can finally uncover them, learn from them, and never repeat the same mistakes. If you found these stories shocking, thought-provoking, or even terrifying, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. The past may be dark, but understanding it is the first step to a better future.